Hi friends, my name is Akil Ahmed, and in this particular video tutorial I will show you how to export data from SQL Server table to a new CSV file every time we run the SSIS package. So recently I got a question from one of my subscriber, Kichu Chinu, and he said that my TL said that I have to get a data from a data flow OLEDB source to flat file destination, and then if the file exists then new file will be created. For example, if customer 1 is exists, then customer 2 need to be created. So let's see how we can do that using SSIS. So I have SQL Server 2019 instance, and in the test database I got a customer table here. So I will be exporting the data from the customer table to the CSV file. So I can just show you the data from this particular table. So this is the data that it contains 1000 records and there are 5 columns. Okay, so we will be exporting the data to this location, D files location, and a file customer1.csv should be created in the first run, and in the second run customer2.csv should be created, and then customer3.csv, and so on. So let's see. So I have already written some code in the C# language which can actually generate the new file name that will be exported. So what we are doing here, that in the first variable current date time, we are just getting the current date time value in the local variable, so that this value can be used while generating the error log file in case the process will fail. So it will create the error log file at this location, D files logs location, and the file name will be error log underscore current date time dot log, and the error message will be written to this particular file. So that's why we have declared these two variables here. And then we have the folder path. So our CSV file destination file will be exported to this particular location, D files location. So you can configure these values according to your use. And then we have declared a variable name, file name, which is a local variable, and it contains right now the value as customer. So because the name is customer, so the file will be generated like customer1.csv, customer2.csv, customer3.csv, and so on. And in case if you want to generate the files like employee1.csv, employee2, so you can provide that value here. And then we have declared local variable full file path, so that in the end this particular variable will hold the actual full file path. Okay, and then we are using the directory info class just to loop through all the CSV files from the folder, and we have also declared a list here, number list, so that we can just hold all the numbers into a list, and then we can get the max number from the list. So what we are doing here, we are running a for each loop here. So we are just looping through all the CSV files from this particular folder path, and what we are doing, we are actually getting the numerical part from the file name, and then we are adding that particular value to the list. And then once all the numeric part for all the file name has been added to the list, we are checking that if the file already exists, then what we will do, we will get the max value from the list, and then we will append the value of the max value to the max value plus 1, and then the final full file path will be the folder path plus file name plus the max value dot csv. And in case if no file exists at the folder path, then we will create a file with the name as folder path plus file name plus 1.csv. okay, so it will be like customer1.csv. so this is the code that will actually give us the full file path of the final file that will be exported. So what we can do, we can actually copy this particular code from here, and we can use this code inside the SSIS package. So let me open the SSIS package. So this is my blank SSIS package that I am using today. So in the SSIS package, we can create the variables for log folder, folder path, file name, and the full file path, so that we can pass the values dynamically from SSIS variable to script task, and from script task to the rest of the SSIS package. Okay, because the full file path value can be set inside the script task, and then that value can be used inside the flat file connection manager. So let me do one thing, let me copy the variable name from here, and let me create 4 variables here, and the first variable can be the log folder, and the data type will be string, and I can provide this value D files logs. Okay, and now let me just copy the another folder path, and the data type will be string here, and it will hold the value as D files. So according to the path on your system, you can create the variables and assign the path. And the third variable is the file name, and the data type is string, and I can provide the value as customer here. And now the last variable is the full file path, and I can create the variable here. The data type is a string, and I can provide the value as d files and then customer1.csv. okay, now what I can do, I can just close this one and I can just use a script task here. So what the script task will do, it will get the new file name, so I can call it as like get new file path. Now I can right click and configure this one. So there are 4 variables. So the first 3 variables will be the read only variables, from which I will just read the information like the file name, folder path and the log folder. So these 3 variables will be the read only variable, and then there will be one read write variable which will be the full file path. Okay, so what I can do, I can just copy this value from here, and the last one is the full file path. Okay, so I can just copy this one and then I can use these variable inside the script task. Alright, so the script task has been opened up and I can paste the value here, and the last one is the full file path. Alright, now what I can do, I can go back to the C# console app and I can copy this code from here. Okay, and then I can paste the value here. So this is perfectly fine. Now it seems like this is missing some namespaces, and I think the namespace should be the system.io. so I can add using system.io here, and majority of the errors are gone, and it needs system.collection, I think, yeah, system.collection.generic and max using system.link. So I think all the errors are gone now. Now what we need to do, instead of this log folder path, this hard coded value, we can get the value from the SSIS variable. So I can write dts.variables, and then I can just get the variable name from here, dot value dot to string. Okay, so now the folder path is dynamic and its value will be populated from the log folder SSIS variable. Now same way I can copy this value from here and I can paste it here, and I can copy and paste this value, folder path, and the third one is the customer. Alright, so file name. So now for these 3 variables, the value can be get from the SSIS variable, which is perfectly fine. And now for the full file path, at the end of this particular code, we can assign the value to the variable dts dot variables full file path dot value equal to full file path. Okay, so this is how at the end of this particular code the value can be assigned to the SSIS variable full file path. So this is perfectly fine. Now I can close this one, file, exit, and then I can click on OK, so that the code can be saved inside the script task. Now we can use the data flow task here just to export the data from a SQL Server table to the CSV file. So I can connect the script task with the data flow task, and then I can configure the data flow task. Because our data is in SQL Server table, so we can use the OLEDB source here, and then we can configure the OLEDB source. Click new to create a new OLEDB connection manager. We already have a connection to the test database, so I can click on OK. From data access mode, I will use SQL command, and then I can simply copy this particular query from here, paste it here, and if I go to the column, so I can see all the columns here, so I can click on OK. Now because we want to export the data to a CSV file, so we can use the flat file destination here. I can connect the OLEDB source with the flat file destination, and then I can configure the flat file destination. I can click new to create a new flat file connection manager. The format of the file will be delimited, that is selected, so I can click on OK, and then I just need to browse this CSV file that will be exported. So I want to create a file with the name as customer1.csv. okay, and then I can click on open. Column names in the first data row, which is fine, so I can see all the columns here. I can click on OK, and then I can go to the mappings. All the input columns have been mapped with the destination columns, so I can click on OK. So now this is good. Now there is only one thing which is remaining, is that this flat file connection manager, this is hard coded as of now. If you right click on it and go to the properties, so if you check the connection string property, so this is pointing to the see users HP documents customer1.csv. But this is not the right path. We want to export the data to the D files location, okay, and to a file customer1.csv. So this particular path should be dynamic. And how we can make this path dynamic? That we can go to the expressions, we can click on these three dots. From the property, we need to set the connection string property, and the value should be get from the file path, full file path SSIS variable, because the value in the full file path will be set from the script task, and that value will be the new file name every time. So I can click on OK. So our SSIS package is ready now. And if you go to the D files location, so right now there is no file here. So when I will execute the SSIS package, it should create a file as customer1.csv. So let me execute the SSIS package and let's see how it goes. So you can see that the package ran fine, and if I go to the D files location, so I can see a file customer1.csv. okay. Now let me try to rerun the SSIS package and let's see how it will work now. So this worked fine again, and let me open the file. So now I can see a file customer2.csv. Now let me rerun the package again, and this time it should create a file as customer3.csv. So now you can see that now it generated a file as customer3.csv. So this is working perfectly fine. Now in case if I delete all the files again, okay, so right now there is no file, again it will start creating the files from the first file like customer1.csv. So this is working perfectly fine, like how we expected. So I will share all the code that I used in the SSIS package with you so that you can use it in your environment. Yeah, so I think that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you like the video then please click the like button, do subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon and click on all so that you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much.